MLB The Show tips, it's roster prediction time for Friday, July 8th. But first, we start with a giveaway. This Friday night, we'll be giving away this autographed Eddie Gamboa baseball. Who's Eddie Gamboa? Who's the knuckleball legend? Well, look on my YouTube channel, you'll find out. And here's what we're going to do. On Twitter at MLB The Show _tips, there's 3 ways you can enter. One of them is to help a really great cause called Extra Life for Kids, where you can help get video games and consoles into kids' hands who are in the hospital. So that's what we're going to do. The little fundraiser for that, but you can retweet, favorite, other ways to win. And there's already hundreds of entries. I really appreciate all the support for this, guys. And Eddie Gamboa does too. I had a chance to catch up with him recently. You check that interview out on the YouTube channel. But for now, let's get into roster predictions, starting with catcher, ending with reliever. And Wilson Ramos is going to stay on my upgrade prediction list for the rest of the time, it seems like. He's showing no signs of slowing down after an incredible 3-month tear to begin the year. Now he's batting .340, 13 home runs, and he's improved his walk and strikeout rates. JT Realmuto of the Marlins, +2, a 7-game hitting streak with 4 multi-hit games mixed in there. At Maximus50 says his average is rising in the leadoff spot, and I looked into it. In fact, his batting average climbed to .325, which is only behind Wilson Ramos among qualified catchers. Over to first base, Edwin Encarnacion. He made an appearance on last week's prediction, didn't get the upgrade, so I'm going to keep him on there, +1. He once again is among the league leaders in home runs, but with a .260 batting average, a power boost, maybe his best chance of an overall upgrade, especially against lefties. In San Diego, Wil Myers, +1. He's raised his batting average close to .300 and hit 3 more home runs since his last upgrade in June. Without a doubt, for me, he's in the middle of a breakout season. 13 stolen bases are really impressive too for a first baseman. Kansas City first baseman Kendry Morales, +2. One of my followers, Brandon, thinks Morales deserves an upgrade. Now, I could see more power versus lefties, as 6 of his 15 home runs have come against those southpaws. Just be aware, he's gone to the outfield a few of the last games, so if devs move him into right field or left or whatever, he could actually get a downgrade in his overall because the Royals have been playing him out there. At second base, Jose Altuve, +2. Last year he set a career high with 15 home runs. Well, guess what? He's only 1 short of it this year. MLB The Show stud says he's also hitting over .350 against righties, so that 79 contact could go up along with some power. Matt Carpenter, +1. He's an all-star, 300 average, 14 home runs. At BQ Train Gamer noticed the Terry's been on. Taking a closer look at his rating though, they pretty much look spot on to me, except he's hitting lefties better. 51 contacts suggest maybe some upgrades there. Gene Segura, give him a +1. Jay Dizzle says he's also noticed the great season Segura is having, .320 average. Now, I also saw that he's batting .325 against righties. Maybe his contact rating could go up there. Twin second baseman Brian Dozier, give him a +2. He hit .370 in June, 8 home runs, and he's going to be getting upgraded for his efforts sooner or later. And that's good news for Ryan Sawyer, one of my followers. I don't think he goes gold this week, Ryan, but sooner or later he could if he keeps it up. In Baltimore, Jonathan Schoop, +2. At Jay Polzer says his stats don't lie, and he's better than his 78 rating overall. And I looked at it too, with a .310 average against righties. That's where I could see the best chance for an attribute boost. At third base, Jake Lamb. My goodness, what a season. Give him a +1. At Chef Ryan says he's having a huge year. Awesome OPS. Could he deserve an upgrade to gold? Well, Ryan, I think that's possible. He homered in 4 out of 5 games recently and is among the league leaders right now in that category. But that low fielding just won't help his chances going to gold really quickly. Moving to shortstop, Troy Tulowitzki, +1. Now, you saw his prime and rookie cards came out, but actually in real life, he's been awesome as well. Since returning from a quad injury in June, at MLB Mate said Tulo is playing really well and wondered if he deserves an upgrade. Well, listen to this. He's smashing the baseball, .340 average, 7 home runs. I'm not sure he's a diamond candidate anymore, but Tulo is still a very good ball player on a dangerous offense. Upgrades are on the way. In LA, Corey Seager. I don't see a big upgrade. In fact, I'm going to give him a +0 this week. He has been on a great hitting streak, but his righty-lefty splits are becoming bigger and more divided. He's batting now .320 against righties and 70 points less against lefties at .250. So if devs adjust his ratings, he may gain contact versus righties, but then lose it against the lefties. And therefore, I could see a small, if a 0 flat, overall change. Angels shortstop Andrelton Simmons, give him also a +0 because at Craig Hutt asked if Simmons could go to gold soon. Now he's at 84 overall. I noticed he's hitting 300 since he returned from an injury last month, similar to Tulo. But Simmons is one of those guys you gotta watch. 84 overall, right on that cusp to gold. He's so close. So don't go overboard if you're going to invest in Simmons, but keep an eye on his hitting. More contact is really the key for him to push from silver to gold. Danny Espinosa, +2. Now his teammate Bryce Harper's hit 18 home runs, and Espinosa has actually matched him this year, and that's why he deserves some power upgrades. A follower, Kandoko, tweets in that he's batting .375 over the past 15 games, including some monster games against the Reds where he hit 2 home runs twice. One of those games, 6 RBI, the other game 7. Wow. Espinosa could easily see more power in this week's roster update. The Chicago Cubs' Chris Bryant in left field, give him a +2 either this week or it's coming on the way, guys. And yes, that would mean diamond status. Listen to this, 8 home runs in a 12-game stretch. He's been on a tear, and I had to check this, almost as ridiculous as Bryce Harper did last year on Bryce Harper's weighted diamond. Now, lots of Twitter followers sent me Bryant's name as an upgrade candidate here, and whether it happens sooner or later, this week, next week, it's gonna happen. He's going only to one place, and that's Diamond City. In center field, Adam Jones, +1. I still think he has a chance for upgrades or even to go back to gold because he was never upgraded for a monster month of June, 11 home runs, but maybe devs feel like his attributes are about right. Time will tell, but keep an eye on his progress. The Phillies, Odubel Herrera, give him a +1, another 83 overall center fielder here, and he's reached double-digit home runs already this year, which could be a surprise, only 8 home runs all of last year. So I'm looking at the power numbers, especially against righties. It went from a 46 to up to a 52 recently, so I could see another modest upgrade there, and that's where the +1 could come. Charlie Blackmon, +1, some small power upgrades could be coming for Blackmon. He's on pace to have more than 20 home runs this year. He has almost even home and road splits for those long balls, so it may not just be the Coors effect. Over to right field, I almost didn't put Giancarlo Stanton in my predictions until what I saw he did recently. 4 home runs in 2 games. My goodness, the power surge is back, and Stanton is out of his slump. It's official. Guys, if you didn't buy low on him when his price is around $16,000 on buy orders over the weekend, you might have missed out. They're already up about 10,000 stubs, and I'm sure they'll keep climbing because Stanton is one of those guys. It won't take much for devs to say, all right, he's still the player we thought he was. Let's move him back up. It's not an injury. It's nothing else. So maybe it's not this week. I'm going to give him a modest +1, but don't be surprised to see Stanton going back up to diamond at some point this season, as long as he doesn't have a major slump again. In Cleveland, Lonnie Chisenhall, +2 at Michael Porter 97 thinks Lonnie deserves an upgrade after hitting .311 this year, and I could see more contact against right-handed pitchers. A 4-hit game this week sure helps his case as well. Over to starting pitching, I wanted to dig deep to look at a few diamond pitchers that could move up or down, and Chris Sale kind of came to mind. Listen, he's 14-2, so you may be asking, why would I think he deserves a downgrade? Well, if developers look a little deeper in the stats, and they see what I see, his strikeout rate is at a career low right now. Still really good, but his home run per 9 rate is also bubbling to a career high. Now, while I don't think he drops out of diamond, there are signs Sale is not the same pitcher he was last year, and could regress in his overall rating slightly. But for now, I'd keep an eye on his next few starts to see if these trends continue. Indian starter Carlos Carrasco, give him at least a +1. Since the calendar flipped to June, Carrasco has been dominant. A 14 strikeout game against Toronto, a complete game shutout against Detroit, an ERA around 2.5. He's one of the reasons that the Indians could make a run in the playoffs this year, as long as he stays healthy. Sticking in the AL Central, Tigers pitcher Michael Fullmer, give him a +3. He led the majors with an ERA under 1 in June and was second with a .140 batting average. Fullmer is just one of those rare pitchers that will make a charge for gold this year, even though he's just a rookie, kind of like we saw Syndergaard do last year. Bud Norris, look for the new Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher to get +2 sometime. Over the last month as Atlanta's starter before he was traded, he held opponents to an ERA around 2. Over to closers now, Familia of the Mets, give him a +2. Now, he saved 43 games last year for the Mets, and he's on his way to another stellar season. Now, when I took a closer look at Familia stats, the home runs per 9 category might be his best bet as an upgrade because he's given up 0 all season in 40 innings. At B Murphy 12 says he thought those stats this year deserve a +2. I agree. In Kansas City, Wade Davis is on the disabled list, which opens the door for a new closer this week if developers choose to move someone. If it's Herrera or Soria, either one of them would get a +2 if they move into the closer role, so look for those upgrades. Hope you enjoyed roster predictions for another week, and don't forget to submit your entries for the Eddie Gamboa Baseball, MLB The Show _tips on Twitter, and subscribe here for more predictions, reviews, and highlights all season long.